Hello and welcome to the Luv Doc podcast with hosts Waldo Wachewski and Ophelia Brewski.
So we're talking about the holidays, and you'd normally expect the Luv Docs from this time of year to be about, cheer, historical trivia, maybe arguing over cookie recipes. But in his column, published right around Christmas, the Luv Doc takes a complete U-turn.
It's a spectacular U-turn,
Yeah.
a total bait and switch.
Right.
You think you're getting one thing, and it just instantly plunges into this really biting social commentary. It's a masterclass, really.
It is.
The Luv Doc uses two very distinct non-traditional holidays.
Boxing Day and Festivus.
Exactly. As bookends for this sustained, really acidic critique of class, of labor, and, the simple need to just get frustrations off your chest.
Absolutely. And I think what makes this deep dive so rewarding for you, the listener, is that it's just packed with these aha moments.
Mm-hmm.
The Luv Doc takes these common cultural touchstones, a British holiday, a sitcom reference, and uses them like Trojan horses to deliver a very pointed message.
And our mission today is really to unpack that chain of connections. We're going to trace how this historical custom of forced servitude gets directly linked to modern service industry exhaustion.
And then how that whole framework builds toward the need for catharsis, the airing of grievances.
Right. We have to dissect the satire. That's where the real power is.
Okay, let's do it. So we have to start where the Luv Doc starts, the date, December 26th. So the Luv Doc is officially dated December 26th. That immediately lands us on Boxing Day, at least in the UK and the Commonwealth.
And the Luv Doc jumps right on that. They acknowledge the, let's say, common and maybe slightly violent misunderstanding of the name.
Yeah, what's fascinating is the tone. The Luv Doc says when you hear Boxing Day, you might get a surge of adrenaline.
Right. Picturing pasty-skinned pugilists wailing on each other. That's the exact phrase.
It is. And then there's this very specific pop culture reference to Brad Pitt's flawless pikey accent in the movie Snatch.
Yeah.
Why that movie? What's the point of bringing that up right at the top?
I mean, it sets a tone, doesn't it? Snatch is gritty, it's chaotic, it's all about conflict.
The opposite of Christmas cheer?
Exactly the opposite. The Luv Doc signaling right away. This is not going to be a polite discussion. The topic is confrontational, not charitable.
But then we're immediately told we'd be sadly mistaken because it's not about the sport.
No. And instead, the Luv Doc calls the holiday itself a seriously egregious misdirect.
And pins the blame directly on the Brits, calling them an egregious people.
And that phrase, that's the launching pad for the real historical grievance. The Luv Doc cuts right to it with a rhetorical question that just defines the whole critique. Who else would make their servants work on Christmas?
And this is where it gets so highly charged. This whole interpretation of Boxing Day's origins, it's not framed as charity.
Not at all. It's framed as a calculated, abusive labor practice.
He paints this truly bleak picture. The charity isn't a gift. It's just giving them the day off after you've already forced them to work through the main holiday.
And the imagery used to describe the reward is just visceral. The servants get to enjoy leftover Christmas gruel for everybody.
Implying scraps.
Total scraps.
Yeah.
And all while being too shackled to hacksaw to those leg irons.
That analogy, the gruel and the leg irons, what makes it so effective?
Well, it shows the oppression is systemic. It's physical. It's not just about wages. It reframes the whole holiday not as a gift, but as this mandatory time-delayed break in what is essentially forced labor. It's a class indictment.
And the Luv Doc doesn't just leave this critique in the 19th century. It escalates things quickly.
Very quickly. It connects this historical labor grievance directly to colonialism and slavery.
The Luv Doctor just throws it out there. Yo, dog, they invented that shit and colonizing and enslaving countries a jillion times their size.
And that's a crucial point for you as a listener to notice. The Luv Doc is using this highly inflammatory, very casual language to make a huge political claim about global history. So this historical critique that the ruling class basically invented labor exploitation, that's the foundation for the entire pivot to modern issues. And if we follow that pivot, the argument shifts geographically and chronologically.
But the theme stays exactly the same: exploitation.
Precisely. The Luv Doc moves from historical servitude in the UK to modern employment in the US. The line is just so blunt. In America, we don't have servants, we have employees.
And the grievances are still all about who pays the price for wealth. The Luv Doc lists the reality for so many American employees, working on Christmas.
But without health care, or vision care,
Right.
or dental care, or a pension.
It's the total lack of basic protections. That's what draws the Luv Doc's fire.
And that's where the critique becomes structural. The Luv Doc spells out the purpose of all this unprotected labor. It exists so that, and I'm quoting, millionaires can become billionaires and billionaires can become whatever the fuck Elon Musk is.
So the economic structure itself is the modern version of those leg irons.
That's the argument. The employees are shackled by economic necessity, not literal chains.
And
Holy crap. You're psychotically obsessed with the Luv Doc, but can't think of a flashy gauche way to share your obsession with the world? Stop thinking and make a beeline for the Luv Doc's home sweet home on the interwebs, thepleasurecraft.com, where you can find a veritable treasure trove of sick merch that will make even your coolest friends super gel. Honestly, I don't know why you didn't already think of this yourself, but you're welcome. Have fun on the Pleasure Craft. It was made just for you. Let me spell it out for you one more time. www.thepleasurecraft.com.
to illustrate this perverse expectation of modern service, the Luv Doc uses a perfect anecdote.
The Sewell Cadillac commercial.
Yes. It's such a specific, almost niche detail, but it makes the point universally clear.
It really does. It highlights the tyranny of the consumer. So you have this blonde lady who calls her sales rep.
On Christmas Day.
On Christmas Day because her Escalade broke down.
And the rep, because of this ethos of extreme 204/7 service, he leaves his family, he drives out, picks her up, takes her home.
And the Luv Doc uses that moment for some really dark, cathartic humor.
Oh, yeah. The Luv Doc suggests the sales rep should have considered murdering her and burying her in a shallow grave for calling him on Christmas Day.
Instead of making her Christmas. Why that specific, hyper-violent suggestion?
It feels like the ultimate release, right?
It is. It's a hyperbolic release. I mean,
Yeah.
when labor demands not just your time, but your emotional presence,
Wow.
even on a sacred holiday, the pressure is just immense. So the fantasy of murder, as dark as it is the only proportional response in the Luv Doc satirical universe.
It just skewers that whole idea of service with a smile, no matter the personal cost.
Perfectly.
Now, before we move on, we have to touch on this quick digression the Luv Doc makes. It shows the almost manic range of the frustration here.
Right, the yoke of oppression.
Yes.
This little tangent. It shows the grievances aren't just about structural labor. They're about consumer anxiety, too.
The Luv Doc mentions red-hatted American deplorables who feel like they're putting the yoke of oppression back on because of...
The outlandish price of eggs.
Right. Eggs? Why include that? It feels like such a jarring shift.
I think it reinforces the central idea that oppression, or at least the feeling of it, takes many forms. The high price of a basic necessity, like eggs, is seen by this group as its own form of economic constraint. And the Luv Doc, through satire, equates it with these much larger yokes.
So it's about the breadth of the frustration.
Exactly. Everything from historical slavery to modern inflation is viewed through this same lens of being unfairly burdened.
And of course, the Luv Doc completely undercuts the seriousness of it with that hashtag.
Hashtag yoke of oppression.
And admitting it was a really bad dad yoke. That self-awareness is key.
It keeps the critique entertaining, even when it's deeply political. And it just confirms the Luv Doc has a very, very long list of grievances. So this next transition is where the actual newspaper's printing schedule becomes part of the story.
Right. The Luv Doc notes that even though the issue is dated for Boxing Day, you, the reader, might actually be reading it on December 23rd.
On Festivus. Because the mucky mucks at the Chronicle might have rushed it out early.
The timing is just perfect. You've just read this whole treatise on exploitation, and you realize you've landed on the one day designated for the airing of grievances.
And the Luv Doc acknowledges this, says they've already aired a few grievances, but that the list is incredibly long.
I believe it.
And this is where the core concept comes in, the psychological mechanism to deal with all this. The Luv Doc calls it expurgatory catharsis.
Let's break that down. Catharsis is what? Purging negative emotions?
Right. And expurgatory just doubles down on it. It means cleansing, purifying. It's the relief that comes from venting that emotional burden.
So after detailing all the historical and modern oppression, the Luv Doc shifts from the problem to the solution.
Emotional release.
Yeah.
The invitation to the listener is a direct call to action.
So you're invited to participate, to send in your own list of grievances.
Exactly. And we get one last hilarious dig, one last instruction.
Send them ideally through the Chronicle website and not through the U.S. Postal Service.
And the reason being?
Simply, they have enough problems as it is.
It's another quick jab at a struggling institution. But the whole piece It builds to this final moment of collective release.
Suggesting that if problems exist, and the Luv Doc has given us centuries of evidence that they do,
Then you need a mechanism to deal with them before they just consume you.
and that's the essential wisdom, right?
That's it. The Luv Doc boils it down to a simple question. The first step in solving a bunch of problems is recognizing there are a bunch of problems.
It's so simple, but it puts a fine point on everything that came before. Recognition and release are the first steps to any resolution.
And the final line of the column is just a masterful callback. It ties the whole satirical thread together.
Leave it with me. Let me be your Sewell sales rep.
It's brilliant. They take the ultimate symbol of modern oppression from the earlier anecdote, that sales rep, and they flip the idea of service on its head.
So now the Luv Doc is offering their service.
Right. Emotional processing, grievance holding. They become the darkly humorous servant for the reader's catharsis. So if we synthesize this whole Luv Doc column, the structure the Luv Doc used is just ingenious.
Using the holidays as bookends.
Exactly. Boxing Day is the hook for the historical critique of involuntary labor, of class oppression.
And Festivus becomes the platform for the necessary modern satirical release, the catharsis.
In the Luv Doc's view, both of these holidays act as vital counterpoints to the forced cheer of Christmas.
Yeah.
They offer space to analyze frustrations that the official holidays just ignore.
So the key takeaway here for you, the learner, has to be how potent satire can be when it's grounded in these really specific, vivid examples. I mean, this Luv Doc shows that any cultural event, even a holiday, can be used to deliver powerful social commentary on labor, on wealth inequality.
And just on the essential human need to process frustration.
Right. It's an exercise in seeing the political struggle embedded in the mundane details of life, from historical gruel to a modern escalade.
And that leads us to a final provocative thought for you to consider. If recognizing problems is the crucial first step, and if the kind of intense expurgatory catharsis the Luv Doc describes is necessary for our health,
Then what's next?
what kind of systemic societal problems, and I mean beyond high egg prices or demanding Cadillac owners, what problems deserve their own formalized annual airing of grievances in our modern context?
That's a great question.
Which burdens are we all collectively carrying into the new year just because we lack the mechanism to truly air them?
A perfect question to mull over.
Thank you for listening to the Luv Doc podcast.
To read the column that spawned this podcast, go to austinchronicle.com/columns/the Luv Doc. There are probably worse things to do with your time, right?